Alright, hello again everyone. This is going to be another quick tutorial, well not quick tutorial, but another tutorial. And this one will be on GhostTown. It's a plugin to make quick little cities. It's buggy, it will work, it's fast though, and it'll work very well for silhouettes way out in the background that you will not see these buildings up close. If they're not the best up close, there's some little bugs with it. The plugin itself is good for, as I said, buildings in the far distance, and you can use them to make some quick little parks, some quick little high poly cities. Probably wouldn't use it for that. But it's quick, it's easy, and if you don't mind a few little errors and geometrical redundancies, I guess, it will do what you need to do. The problem is, if you go into the high poly stuff, it starts to slow down, and I would just use a building generator script that I've shown many times before to make multiple different buildings and just move those around in general. But this is much faster and a bit easier to use. So first, let's install GhostTown. So to go to GhostTown, we'll go to this site right here. I'll link it in the description, of course, like I always do. Make sure to do this. So starting it as an administrator, so just right-click and start as administrator. If you just go under there, I have mine open, so I can't really start as administrator. I have already unplugged. So again, just follow these instructions, and then what I'm going to show you is how you install it, kind of. So as it says, go to Customize User Interface and Category Kill It. So under this Customize menu, Customize User Interface, and go under Category to Keylab. This is if once you run the script, this is where you'll find it. So you'll have to go Max Script, Run Script, find the script in it, and it'll be under wherever you put the script. So this is the GhostTown MZP. If it's a zip file, just change the extension to MZP instead of ZIP, because some computers, supposedly according to him, like it to be called zip instead of MZP. Like it recognizes a zip file, not a max zip file, I'm assuming. But anyways, then go under Category. So you run the script and reload Max, because sometimes it doesn't work if you don't reload it. Under Category, go to Keylid, and it'll, or Keylid, I guess. Be right there, and just open GhostTown, drag it and drop it to any of your floaters here. Sadly, you can't make its own new floater port, so you're going to have to put, I just put mine between two renders because I really didn't care where it went. And I rarely use these buttons. Like, I mean, I have an FX floater, and I guess my Ghost, I should just put that next to that one. Let's see if I can move it. No, I cannot. Edit appearance? No, I can't move it. I'll move that all later on my own time. You don't really care about that. So, yeah, and then after you drag it onto here, you can click this button. Yeah, there's no, that's why you need to open this as an administrator, because then it won't access files if you don't. I haven't opened it as administrator, so it doesn't really matter. But I've already had it installed, so it works now. So I'll just click this and bring up this right here. So we'll just go over quickly some things. You can full screen this GhostTown thing or dock it. I would never full screen it. It's not worth it. It's a little box that doesn't get any bigger than this. I don't know why I put the option in there. You can update on startup. It hasn't been updated forever. I wouldn't really need to update it. You can load some topology into it, but I wouldn't use it. And you can scale background image by 2 points. Never used it. So really all I do is dock it and undock it. That's the only option I use from that toolbar. Anyways, because I need to put it on this screen, because you can't see my other screen, I will leave it docked. Now first, what we're going to want to do is show the guide. This is important, because what this does is you build a spline area, and then it makes a city inside that spline area. And it needs to, if you're going to just build a regular city, not like a park or a little road or anything, it needs to be bigger than this minimum area. It cannot intersect it even if the total area is bigger. This needs to be covered up. Also, what you'll want to know is you can set up the setup by geometry. You can paint a topology on it, you can paint strips on it, and you can set it to auto or custom. None of these seem to work except the shape and geometry. It's in beta phase still, so I wouldn't really expect them to work as much, but usually I just use shape geometry. As well, these two don't work. They crash the program, so I just leave it as single. But yeah, these setups, if you just leave it like this, it works. If you mess around with them, I've had problems with it crashing multiple times and nothing really changing. But that's what I would do with this. Anyways, and these you can just attach, detach, select them. This is just for the cool cam. I don't know what that is, but we'll try it out later at the very end. So this is just for the setup once we get into it. So first what we're going to do is create our spline. So go under our spline menu, under create splines, click line, and start creating a spline. So I'm just going to click around, kind of make a cool shape to it, like a little prong here. And, oh, almost there. as well. And let's go out here and then close that spline. Yes, we want to close the spline. Right click and convert this to an editable spline. First, what you want to do, select all these, make sure that they are corner. This thing, you can leave these a Bezier or Bezier corner, but what happens is before it does the setup, it'll automatically reset them to corner. So there's really no point. And if you leave it a corner, at least you'll get what you see. Yeah, you'll get what you see right now. So now we have this spline area. First, what I will do, because this is not a very nice plugin sometimes, is I'll save this as a where are we at? Tutorials. I'll save this as a spline in the back, and I will replace my old GhostTown one. I did this tutorial before, and it didn't really like me. So what you want to do is save your spline and leave a file in behind it. As you saw, I saved it as GhostTown and GhostTown Active. Leave a file behind before you do any step, because this plugin likes to crash, and it doesn't have very good non-destructive modeling. So usually when you change the spline, there's no going back to the spline the way it was before. Kind of sloppy that way, but I kind of see the way he works, because he turns the spline into an editable poly, takes the faces from that, and makes stuff on those faces. So other than that, just leave that. Leave a file saved with your basic spline, and then have another file that you actually work off of, so you can always go back to your other file, and you can keep this one saved. So now that we have this built, you can turn off the guide if you want. I usually like leaving it on, I don't know why. And you can make multiple sorts of things. So you have lot division, sci-fi, and custom script. Lot division makes it so when you make the lot, it will make it just like a regular city. It'll be lot divided. Sci-fi kind of does something cooler. It makes little editable polys in the areas, and it makes it kind of look sci-fi, which is my favorite one. So first what you want to do is you set up the topology. So you right-click Setup, and you can set up topology. Or not right-click, you left-click Setup. If you right-click it, you can delete all of the geometry, and as you see, my spline goes with it. So as I said, you don't have very good non-destructive modeling tools. When you try to revert it, it doesn't like that. So I do not want to save a current scene, and my Steam account's open. And then you get a bug error. So let's reopen 3ds Max. So there you go. See, as I said, there's bugs with it and problems with it, but it's still pretty good in the end. I wouldn't recommend it to use it for anything more than far back in video thingies. There we go. Now open that up, and let's go back to GhostTown Active, because I never saved it. So we're back in here, and we'll open GhostTown again. So there you go. First crash. I'm assuming there's going to be a few more. Anyway, so set up it, and there we go. Now we have, if we can turn on F4, which is our shaded with edges, so realistic edge faces, you can see that it divided itself into multiple polygons and n-gons. This is how it determines where to put objects and stuff. So what we can do, excuse me, I have something in my teeth, is we can make it a lot division, turn on low poly, and white's a good color. You can use, you can use different things, but first what I'm going to do is just build it. So what will happen is a low poly city will arrive, and you can see it right there. This is a lot of buildings. There doesn't seem to be any sort of or houses or anything, but what this can be is because if we go under build settings, the office percentage is set up to 100. Yours will be different because it doesn't save defaults and you can't revert to defaults, so mine doesn't do that. Anyways, so I'm going to rebuild it now. For some reason it doesn't like this, and then it's just extruding roads and it's giving me a system exception. This is not good. Rebuild. Build. Now it's runtime error. Alright, let's make sure that, okay, that's the roads that we have selected. Let's reload GhostTown Active. And no, I do not want to save my changes. So we hit that, we click Setup, and now that we got that, we will click Build. And as you can see now, there's less office buildings as there was before. And it worked for some reason. But there you go. As you can see, very quick city. It's not the best, but if you're far away, it looks fine. It looks like a city in the distance. Another cool little feature for this is if I close the build settings. So to close the build settings, you just click build settings again. Another little cool feature is you can use a palette color. So take these palettes colors and use them as building things. So you hit rebuild this time, And you can see now it uses the rooftop for palettes like that. The colors are the rooftops. And you can change the colors up so you can have like a red one. There we go, really bright red one. Rebuild, and you can see some have the red on it, some have the gray, and other grays on it. The red is really overpowering. Alright, so that is how you make a really low poly city. Now, what I'm going to do is go back to GhostTown Active because, as you've seen, deleting stuff does not like to it does not like to work properly sometimes. Click Setup again, and this time I'm going to use Sci-Fi and go Build. And as you see, it gives a nice little sci-fi thing. This is by far my favorite because this looks like a sci-fi city from afar. You can make a really huge spline with sci-fi-ness. This gives you a nice little base to work off of as well if you want to just get a quick little concept down and you're like, okay, this looks cool as a sci-fi sort of inspired thing. And personally, I like this tutorial or this script just for this purpose. And you can see this kind of looks like a nice little, I don't know, industrial sci-fi thing. But the only problem with sci-fi, this is all you get. There's no high poly, there's no low poly, you can't do roof stuff. Like if I turn on roof stuff and rebuild it, nothing really happens there. See, nothing. You can't do anything. It is just this right here. And I like it, but it's very basic, so you'd have to put some other stuff in. Anyways, that's my favorite one of it. I'm going to go back to GhostTown Active so I can reset it, hit setup again. And let's redo our lot division. And now let's make a high poly one. High poly, once I'll rethink it, I'll start with low poly. And I'll just do white. So we build it, and as you see, white houses and everything everywhere. Few office buildings, which are these big ones. As you see, they're just boxes in low poly system. And let's say I want some street stuff or roof stuff. I'm going to go rebuild. This might crash it. I don't think it should though. Yeah, it shouldn't. As you see, the street stuff works well with low poly. Oh, and it should load sometime. There it goes. It might lag out like that for you too, but it's not too bad. So as you see, the street stuff works, but there's nothing on the roofs with high poly. So what I'm going to do is first turn on roof stuff, but roof stuff only works with high poly. So I'm going to rebuild it, and now you'll see there's stuff on the roof. However, moving around in the I'll lag a bit with this, but as you'll see, moving around makes it pretty slow whenever it gets to that. And I will sing something when this goes on. Do, 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 do. There we go. As you can see, it slows down a lot. However, they have a nice little handy thing called box, which, as you see right now, it converts everything. I'm going to also turn on realistic to shaded. There we go. Speeds up my viewport a lot more. But anyways, I turn on box right here, this little checkbox. As you can see, it replaces all the roof stuff with just a box around it. This is a cool little feature to have this roof stuff thing because it actually does add a lot, especially from distance. Like, it breaks up the silhouette to a point. As well, angled roofs do not work on low poly. They only work on high poly. So as you see, housing looks a lot better. You can also turn off create parks, but I mean, all it does is when that turns on, really nothing. It just, in the middle, there's no parks. So once this actually loads up and, you know, doesn't break. And as you can see, nothing much difference when you don't create parks. However, I will show you how to create parks with this plugin. It's quite interesting, quite fast, which is really nice. Anyways, so next thing what we want to do is, for some reason, I had some favela thing working. Anyways, sorry, never mind. But there you go. That's how you can make it like a high poly city thingy. So I'm going to go back to low poly. Lot division's fine. White is fine. And I'm going to open up one of these, hoping for something to say favela. If it doesn't, then I'm quite sad. Objects, balconies, topology. Oh, custom script probably. Yes, there it is. Alright. So this custom script thing is very handy for creating high poly and low poly cities. The construction site, you can create a construction site from it. So if I click construction site and hit rebuild, it should create something that looks like a construction site. but it didn't for some reason, because I don't think I had it selected properly. Yeah, that's what I have to do. Construction site, and I'll move it up, and then I should be able to test it or something. Anyways, never mind. Hi, Polly. So I'm back. It kind of crashed a bit on me, and I'm back. I just rebuilt it. So what you want to do is to get like that favela or construction site working, under your build settings, you hit custom script. You go down to, you select your custom script. So let's say I wanted to do construction site, and I should be able to hit build, and it should build up a construction site. However, it hands me an error, which is very nice of it. Well, what I will do now is select a favela and try to rebuild, and it's just handed me an error. So I'm going to pause this video as I crash this program quickly. Anyway, now that it's been completely crashed and I had to restart Max because of a script error it was handing me, I am going to show you some things. So first what I did was I just restarted Max. But anyways, I'm going to reset these up to what they used to be. And has per block, let's go with 4 and 2. And then pavement height, that was all the same. And there's office percentage. So for doing a custom script, you just want to hit custom script, hit your script that you want. You can write your own if you want. And then just hit rebuild or build. As you can see, this is a construction site, so it kind of looks very bland and bland and empty. You can hit a favela, which is kind of a cool one. I'll rebuild it. And as you can see, there's like a favela looking thing. It's always low poly. I think you can add street stuff with this one as well, but I wouldn't be too certain. Yes, you can add street stuff to a favela, because the custom scripts only affect the non-road parts of it. You can hit simple blocks, which is actually a really nice one for a very far away look. As you can see, looks like simple blocks very far away. His test, I don't know what that one was because he doesn't have it. Favelas 2. And those are many scripts that makes a very easy looking, I guess, simple looking village from far away. Like this actually looks like a favela from far away. You might have to texture it yourself, but you can do that with the little material editor he has. So that's how you get some very simple looks for it. So let's make this favela better. So what we want to do is hit custom script, favelas 2, turn off street stuff and roof stuff, and favelas don't usually have very large roads. So we'll hit all the roads down to 400, and we don't really want any office buildings, so yeah, one's good enough. And we'll rebuild, and as you can see, there's an office building there, a really high-rise building that's in the middle of the favela, because I mean sometimes there's like a rich person living there. There's a few little problems there, but we can delete those out in later things. And there you go. You have sort of a favela look from very far away. And now I'm going to save that, and I'm going to show you how to do some other cool things. Alright, so sorry about that. I just had to go away for a bit. You didn't even notice because I paused it. And now, so we made a favela. Next, let's make some parks and stuff with this. So I'm just going to reopen GhostTown Active. I think I saved this, so yeah, I'm just going to reopen GhostTown and save as GhostTown Active 2, because I want to keep this file here untouched just in case. And now what we'll do again is hit setup. And this time what we want to do, instead of clicking build or rebuild or going over any of these build settings, what we want to do is go under infrastructure modeling, and let's start creating some of these cool things. So park and river, these you can only use with a spline. Let's create a spline just for that. So we'll make a line, another line. Doesn't have to go over the minimum area this time. So what you don't want to do is for your line, we'll just leave it right about there. And you just have to make a line, and you hit river, and it creates a river along that line. It's not the best river. There's multiple ways of doing better things for rivers. It is a nice touch though. You can make a kind of little river in the middle of the park or whatever. You can also make a road, so just hit road. He only has double road in there right now. i2's rail clone probably makes a better road off of that. Actually, certainly makes a better road off of that. However, it's not free, and this one is. So that's how you can make like a road quickly or a river quickly with this plugin. Now to make a park, what you want to do is you go under this spline after you hit setup. Then I'm going to close up build settings by hitting build settings. You hit polygon. You select the polygons you want your parks created on, and you hit park. And you get a little park made for you off the bat. Some even have lakes in there for this one, like this. And this is actually another really cool part of this plugin because it does make a very good park system. Railway doesn't work and custom really doesn't work. Like, I'm sure you have to create in a plugin or something, but see, the custom block doesn't really work. And this is empty for some reason. It's not been used. But anyways, that's how you create a park. You just select the face you want it on. You can select it on any object. You don't actually need to hit that for these. Hit park, and you got a park. Very simply made park. So, also what we're going to show is how to make a shop and high poly stuff and stuff like that. So, mostly with this infrastructure modeling, you really want to select the polygons. And say we want to create some office buildings, you click office buildings, and there's office buildings created for you. Next, let's say we want to have some, I guess, shops along the bottom edge. You want to make sure the bottom edge is selected. You can't make shops up here. So if we hit bottom edge on this one, you just hit insert shops, and there you got some shops in there. See, if you do it up here, I insert shops, the program likes to crash. Doesn't work. Don't know why they did that. I don't know why it doesn't give you a warning about that, but it usually doesn't work and usually likes crashing the program. So after it crashed again, I am going to open this up. And as you see, there are some fickle things about this, but it is good and it's very quick if you use it properly. So let's go back to our custom script infrastructure modeling. Let's make some more office buildings because I wasn't done with that. I shouldn't have crashed the program before that, but hindsight's 2020. We'll select some places we want to create office buildings and click office buildings to insert them. And then on the lower ones, we are going to make sure it's only the lower ones, never the upper ones, just lower office walls. Insert shops. As you see, we have some shops in there. However, these shops aren't the best. We want some high poly shops. So you just click high poly shops. It builds them and it rebuilds them into higher poly shops instead of just a texture on it, which is really nice. These shops are actually really well made. And then there you go. You got some high poly shops on your little office buildings. Another really cool thing about this is if you click high rise, then it creates a high rise building anywhere you click, which is really nice and really smooth. So now we got a high rise structure up there. And as well, you can usually click rooftops on there. So if we go into one of our high-rise buildings, hit all the rooftops as they're already selected for us, which is very nice. Click on rooftops, it creates a little rooftop for it. Not the best, I would still recommend a building generator for it, but it does work out. And I don't think, sadly, changing high poly, the low poly and high poly under build settings changes the high-rise making. Still looks the exact same. So that is how you make some high-rise buildings as well as some parks. I'm going to go over quickly the parks again just in case you missed it, and some office buildings. You want to just select your polygons for the parks, hit park, where's park, hit park, and there you go, you got some parks made for you right off the bat. So the last thing I'm going to go over is the quick creations of the object library and the materials, and then that will be everything. Then you can hopefully use a script. So the and then I'm going to go over, this is just a material library. So what it does for when you do a textured low poly look, so if I hit this, go under low poly and go under textured, I'll go build. You can see that it has a whole bunch of little textured buildings. Now what it does for this materials library is it takes up, for the first floor, it'll take pictures from any. So if you see this image looks the exact same as this one. And it works well, so you can add your own images in here, just make sure they're JPEGs. As well, you can have your details, your highways, and multiple things. This is the category it will go under, and you just add your JPEGs into there. Just click on Add Texture Map and add whichever one you want. As well as if we go under Object Library, you'll be able to make objects under here, and these are like the houses it pulls from, the balconies it can pull from, the street stuff it pulls from, the topology, the windows. This is for the higher res stuff, but this is the stuff it can pull from to make certain objects and certain looks to it. So if you hit the high rise, it'll pull from some of these some of these objects as well. You can click on, let's say, buildings, one of these buildings, you can hit import, and I imported it, and it put it somewhere. There it is. So you can click, and I should be able to move it. Thank you. Oh, I didn't import the right thing. Click on this and hit import, and now I have that selected, and there it is right there. But it doesn't like keeping the imported object there. So there you have how to make that. I think I might have just crashed my Macs, but you can go under here, you can import some of the objects that they have, and you can make some cool looking villages. So I hope that I hope this is not how this tutorial ends with me crashing my program. So that's how you can make some quick little things, and I'll show you how quick it can be if you just use it the way I use it. Just hit setup, sci-fi, and let's go build. Because this is my favorite one. There's a sci-fi thing. Very quick. You can make multiple of them. You can literally just copy paste this entire thing like that, and you can make some cool looking cities that way. So I hope you learned somewhat how to use this tool. I know sadly it's not the best tool, and it's not necessarily my favorite tool. However, it is good and it's fast. So as you see, I just made that quickly, and that's how you can quickly make a sci-fi city set. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I will see you guys soon. Cheers.